Is it recording this time?
Yeah. Yeah, it's recording. I promise.
Okay, welcome back, everybody, to the Morning Dinner Podcast, episode number 78.
78.
Had it written down right here because I tend to forget. Who do we have on today, bro?
Today we have JR, aka 2 Cents.
2 Cents, and he's an artist. What kind of artist is he? You know what? Before I even ask you, I'm going to read the bio so people can actually listen to it on their drive and they don't have to listen to you babble. JR, known as @OnlyMy2Cents on Instagram, is a sponsored artist and founder of the Day Ones brand, a platform for all dreamers to share their talents and passions. Pretty much, JR is a graphic artist. He does t-shirts, he does prints, he does all kinds of stuff, and one of the things that caught my eye was when he did those Dragon Ball Z paintings.
Dragon Balls are he's on point. Super clean.
If you do anything with Dragon Ball Z, you got my attention. And yeah, man, what do you hope to gain from this conversation, bro?
I'm just trying to learn how he draws so well because I can't draw for shit.
Yeah, that's one of the things I feel like I can't even do storyboards, bro.
Yeah, stick figures, storyboarders.
It's all good though. We're gonna learn some and then some. Before we continue this episode though, don't forget to
smash that like button
and
subscribe
to our YouTube channel. I don't know what that was. But like cool.
I love it.
I love it too.
It's amazing.
Without further ado,
great.
All right, without further ado, episode 78 with JR, aka @OnlyMy2Cents.
Oh shit, I wasn't recording.
Don't tell me that.
I'm just kidding.
God! Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, in the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.
JR, so you go on Instagram by @OnlyMy2Cents. Why is that?
Just because it's my perspective on everything. You're literally any social media is like your window into whatever I'm doing. So it goes only my 2 cents. I do whatever I want in my life, and it's my perspective. And every social media is just like you peeking through it. So
why do you know why they say, "Oh, just my 2 cents"? Do you know the reason why they say that?
You know what's funny is that I googled it probably a few months ago.
Yeah.
And I forgot it right now.
Well,
I was like, damn, this is about to be deep, bro.
yeah, I was like, oh shit,
I straight up forgot
I'm ready.
it, bro. I straight up forgot it.
I don't know,
because I was
man.
looking for the origin of where it came from.
Yeah,
and
let me just throw my 2 cents in real quick.
And
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah.
But before we continue, people want to know who are tuning in.
Hey.
Who are you and what do you do specifically out here?
Look at this camera right here.
You can look at us, man. You can
Oh,
which is conversation. Yeah.
Ah, perfect. Cool deal. All right, so I go by only my 2 cents. I am an artist based off Las Vegas. So that's what I do.
Artist, graphic wise, video wise, how?
It's crazy because I would consider myself in general like a creator. So like I draw, I paint, I do digital, I do analog. At one point I literally challenged like companies to send me whatever art material they had, and I would create with it. So I never had boundaries. I've never been I never studied anything. So legit, like people would send me like markers or like pastels and like chalk and I would just draw. That's how I got sponsored to start with.
So how long ago was that?
I was sponsored in 2013, 2014.
Oh,
that's when I started getting sponsored.
But you've been drawing since you've been.
Oh, I've been drawing since I was 8 years old.
Wait, so you grew up like knowing you wanted to become an artist?
No. So we were poor growing up. So at the time, growing up, the biggest thing was Ninja Turtles.
Oh,
yes. So, you know what I'm saying? Everyone had the little fucking Ninja Turtles, and not only that, but they came out with a Ninja Turtle that opened the back, and then it actually was a turtle that turns into the Ninja Turtle. It's a and I have it.
What the fuck?
So it's like one of those like Chinese dolls. They like the little egg. You open
opens,
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you interchange the head to turn from a turtle to a Ninja Turtle.
Ooh.
So
I remember those toys.
So those are the biggest things, right? So I wanted those, and my 2 neighbors had them, but my mom couldn't afford them, of course, right? So she bought me the next best thing, which was like a coloring book, a Ninja Turtle coloring book. So what I did is I colored that thing, and then once it was done, I was fucked. I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do now? So what I ended up doing is I got blank sheets of paper, and I put it on top of the coloring book, and then I started tracing it so I can recolor it again. So that's what sparked my my drawing skills. Like I just kept tracing, and then made my own.
Oh wait, so you started tracing?
I traced, yeah. So
see, I originally thought that to be like an actual drawer.
Yeah.
That shit had to be like come from like scratch. Like you have to just know
No,
you know.
But then again, I was 8 years old too. You know.
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
That would have been a little sus if you're like, whoa, this guy just drew the Mona Lisa.
Like, you're a tracer. No. After that, like then it just became part of my life. Like I would doodle everywhere. So like sketchbooks and everything. Even when I was in the military, like I got in so much trouble for it, man.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always my therapy. It's funny because whenever I'm drawing, I'm actually more in focus. So when people are talking to me and I'm like doodling, people think I'm like, oh, this guy's not fucking paying attention. But legit, like I'm like more focused.
No way.
Yeah. So
damn, that's crazy.
Wait, so if someone's trying to have a conversation with you, you start drawing, like you
I'm
are
straight
more
up listening.
attentive. Really?
Yeah, I can like draw. I can listen to music and like be listening to a podcast
That's crazy.
at the same time. Yeah,
That's crazy because my dad has this thing where like if you start talking to him, you start watching TV,
spaced out.
and he's spaced out
Yeah.
completely.
No, that's how I am. Like
Yeah.
if I'm focused on one thing, the whole world is just
Really?
gone. Yeah, I have really bad. Like I can't like listen or write notes at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
I really have to like focus
On
in.
one thing.
Which is cool because then I'll pay attention if
Yeah,
I'm
that's
paying
true.
attention. But you know when I'm on the phone,
Yeah.
I just little things are getting
Everything
in
else-
my ear.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
This piece of shit.
So quick question: at what age did anime start making its way into your life and influencing your art?
So, dude, so when I was a kid, probably when I was like 12, I started watching Dragon Ball, but it was in Spanish though. Like it was
Spanish?
Yeah. So we didn't have fucking cable or nothing. I just remember a channel that had it in Spanish, like hella late, like after the episodes. I didn't even know it was in English, to tell the truth. That's how bad it was. Like, but not till like 2 years ago, like from now, I didn't even know if it was anime. I didn't know what anime was. I thought it was just cartoons to me.
basically.
You know?
Yeah.
So then I started getting into like One Punch Man, Samurai Champloo, was it Megalobox is dope too. And then I started getting into what else did I get into? I started getting back into like Dragon Ball Heavy once Dragon Ball Super came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what's crazy about Dragon Ball? I think I started watching it in like 2002, 2003. I'm watching Dragon Ball, bro.
Yeah,
like the
the first
original
one. Yeah.
Krillin and Goku. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, this is tight. Like, a new episodes every Saturday. Like they already had GT or whatever. Or no, not GT. They already had like the ending of Dragon Ball Z in
Yeah,
Japan
back in the
like
day.
'96, bro. Like this
Yeah,
has been
we're late.
over. You know what I mean?
Dude, we're late.
So I'm watching it like it's new. Actually, that's a lot about my childhood. That's how I grew up, man. I grew up watching reruns. The Fresh Prince.
Oh,
I
that's my
grew up watching all the reruns.
I'm
I
still
didn't
watching that right now.
You know, yeah. I think we all do.
Nope.
I'm waiting for Netflix
Really?
to add that to the.
Dude, MTV. So I don't know if you guys know, like, so I got this unlimited plan with my carrier.
Yeah.
And they include like some package with all these channels. MTV2 reruns everything. So like the Martin Lawrence show, Fresh Prince,
What?
the Wayans Brothers. Like I'm watching that like right now.
Yeah.
I'm rewatching all my like old
Damn,
school
you're
classics.
just reminiscing.
Dude,
That's tight.
I legit like that's what like when I draw, it's most of the like the old school like classic movies and stuff, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, like no, it's because I probably watched that shit today. Like you know what I mean? Like that's why
Damn.
I'm rewatching it. I love that era, man. I get like re-inspired, you know.
So what you said just kind of triggered something in me when
Yeah.
you said watching all the reruns and everything, it re-inspires you.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching your YouTube channel, and you have this one video on your YouTube channel where you talk about this book called Steal Like an Artist.
Yeah, yeah.
And it talks about how like there's no such thing as an original thought anymore.
Yeah.
Like everything that you see that is new, that you consider new, is just stolen from so many different people that it's kind of like put together as new, right?
Yeah.
And I forgot where I was going with that. Where was I going, Chuck?
Just,
pertains
just how
to,
like things are, nothing's original. That's basically what you said at the beginning.
Bro, I had a really deep thought about this. Moving on, man.
They'll come back, bro.
Let's talk about your YouTube channel. How long you been doing that for?
probably only like a month. So I've had it for a while, and I would post like time lapses, but I thought it was just another outlet so I can put my videos. But a month actually to being like, okay, I actually want to put content out there.
Well, why did you decide to start uploading to YouTube?
So my biggest thing with YouTube is I want to be able to just share knowledge and also still like put some fun stuff on there just because I started like 4 or 5 years ago, well, going on 5 years, and I didn't know shit, dude. So like 7 months of my life, like I legit like was reading like books, audio books. I was on YouTube researching. It's hard to search for something that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So like being able to share that knowledge with other people. Like for me myself, I started off as a clothing brand at first. And people automatically think like, you want to have a clothing brand, cool, you put a design on a t-shirt, you have a brand, you know what I mean? But it's not that, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
like being able to talk about defining what goes into a brand, either the why, right? Why would people wear your shit? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the only reason I even started it, because like if you go to Old Navy and you buy a shirt that says Old Navy, what does that represent to you? Nothing.
Right.
So I wanted to create clothing that I can look down and be like, okay, that means something to me. You know what I'm saying? So it was like usually like some dope quotes, like I have one that says conquer everything because I came from nothing.
Nice.
Like that was dope. And I know other people in their journey of like grinding and making their passion a reality would relate to that. And that was my target audience, someone that had passion. So that's how that I want people to find the why behind their brand. You know what I mean?
Now, this brand we're talking about is the Day Ones.
The Day Ones, yeah.
That's your brand that you created, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why did you create that brand specifically?
So my biggest thing, I've always wanted to do clothing, and I've always had the passion of art. So my biggest thing is like, how can I create my art into something different, right? Something that can impact more people. And I've always wanted to do clothing, so I decided to do it, and I told my friends and I call my Day Ones, right? And they were like, "Fucking do it, bro!" You know what I'm saying? Like full on, like whatever you need, I got you. Like we have camera equipment, like you need like whatever.
That's
and
so dope.
I was like, let's get it, like let's fucking do it. And sure enough, like I started like researching like of course like LLCs and stuff, like that's where my mind goes, you know. But just like screen printing, am I gonna like screen print myself, of sublimation, like different types of printing, like different types of like material, like that's where my mind went into, you know what I'm saying? So like
it wasn't until we started printing like our own shirts that we're like, what is all this stuff, man? I thought you
there's
just
so much that goes into it.
I thought you just go
Like
to
DTG,
printtshirts.com and you pay like $10 a shirt or whatever. Now there's different types.
There's so much.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted to do the YouTube, is one, okay, like you guys don't know and you guys are like barely getting into it. I want to open that door and save you the fucking 7 months that I had to go through. You know what I'm saying? So like, and also give you resources like the books, or give you resources like websites that I like, or articles that might help you. So, you know what I mean? Some people can be like, that's cool, whatever. But like my biggest thing with that is transparency, right? Like, a lot of people in the clothing industry don't want to give out where they get their wholesale from.
Secrets.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I can care less, because if it was my homie, I'd be like, yeah, dude, this website right here, get them for cheap.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't I do that for somebody else? I wish someone did that for me, and I would have saved hundreds of dollars that I'm like working a 9 to 5 and I'm saving. So that's the whole purpose of it. Just being able to have conversation, open dialogue with people that are pursuing that specific passion. Yeah. But most of the stuff relies on just business in general, though.
Yeah, there's this the giving away all your secrets kind of thing. Like I had somebody reach out to me and tell me like, yo, dude, like, you know, because I post these pictures on Instagram sometimes, the photos that I take, the portraits, like all the creative stuff that I work on, and I'll post what my camera settings were, what lights I use, what modifiers I use, how I created the shot, pretty much. And I had somebody who actually runs their own photography business goes like, oh, you're giving away all your secrets, huh? Make it easy for. I'm like, yeah, why not?
Why not? Because not everybody's gonna do it.
Yeah, because here's the thing: even if I'm giving everything away, the percentage of people who are actually gonna take that and redo it is very small. Yeah. Second of all, like that book that you showed me, the Steal Like an Artist,
it's gonna be different, right?
No two people. That's the biggest human flaw. The human hands cannot recreate the exact same thing twice. Like it's impossible. Like if you see somebody else draw something, they're not gonna draw it exactly the same way that you draw it. It's like the human flaw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I like that though. I rather 100% people follow that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's the impact, right? Like that's the human impact that you want to have. Like everyone wants to leave a footprint. Like you can, if I talk about the podcast, like you guys can be like, oh yeah, we watched a YouTube that might have inspired us, so that we got some knowledge off of. Like you can be that person. Yeah. You can be that person to somebody else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my goal with anything. Like if someone shoots me a DM or whatever, like bro, I've had conversations at 3 a.m. with random people just going back and forth, and I love it, man. Like that's what I want. Like just to be able to have those conversations with back and forth with people and be like, hey, I'm here to help with the knowledge I have, because guess what? Someone that's already in the journey a little bit further than me, I would hope they do the same for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
That's the way I look at it.
100%, man.
Yeah.
Wait, so on your Instagram, you always have these like drawings of like Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff. You sell these on your website?
So the paintings, So it's a funny thing, because I do digital drawing and like just straight up like pencil and everything, and then I started painting for therapy, like legit. So I have a studio upstairs and I had a blank wall, and I'm like, man, like instead of me buying something, like why not me paint something? Yeah. And I was like, what would I want? I was like, fuck, I've been on Dragon Ball Z, like let's get it, you know. So I did a big Dragon Ball Z painting, and then at the time Michaels had like buy one get two free canvases, so I bought 3 of them, and I just finished all 3 of them, and then I posted them up, and then people were like, dude, that's dope, like can I get one? And I was like okay, I guess. So then I started painting more. It's still my therapy, bro. Like I go home, chill, and then like I paint for like hours. I paint like 4 hours a day.
Damn.
On average, like how long does it take you to complete a painting?
About 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4
the
hours?
only thing that sucks is that the drying process. You know what I mean? But I work three canvases at a time. So while that one's drying, I'll move on to the second one. While that's drying, then I just go back and
Do
forth.
you use
That's the
like a
ultimate
specific
multitasker.
type of paint or anything?
Acrylic. I like acrylic just because it takes the quickest time to dry.
Wait, there are different types of paint?
Mm-hmm.
What's all the different kinds of paint?
Oil. Like there's like water.
There's so many different bases, but
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to know because I was like, what do you like the best? You know what I mean? Because there's watercolors.
Yeah. I heard a pastel one time.
Remember those?
So that's more of like a pencil though, right? Or like a
It's a crayon.
Yeah, it looks like a crayon, bro. Yeah.
That's how you
Shit's
know.
hard.
That's how you know I've never done
I
anything,
hate
bro.
pastels. I hate it.
Well, why?
They're
It's
messy
messy, bro.
too,
Yeah,
bro. They're so
straight up
messy.
bro. Yeah.
They like chalky? Is that way?
No, they legit feel like crayon. Like
Yeah, they're crayon, but they're like they're just mush, bro. And they're like, it's the one thing that I'm always doing in art class, and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
shit. You get too
Yeah,
dirty.
yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
feel about airbrushing?
I tried it one time to do when one of my friends, Jason, he actually 3D print stuff.
Yeah.
And I tried it on that. It definitely is a different skill. Yeah. Like I feel like you definitely have to put some years in and master that.
Yeah, we have a buddy who owns Airbrush Las Vegas inside the Circus.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And
Yeah.
he's a beast with that.
That's
like
a
he's
different level, bro.
He's got his own store and everything, bro. And like he always shows me like these stencils that he works on and everything. Like he bought his own 3D printer.
Yeah.
So like he's killing it.
I love
But
artists
it's
who
always
are humble though, because he's like, oh, ain't that good? And I look at it, I was like, bro,
bruh.
that looked like a
Yeah.
straight printer, like a screen, like
That's
you
how
put
you
it
know.
in a
Like,
printer. I was like,
yeah.
chill,
That's how you
dog.
know everybody's at different levels, though,
Yeah,
man. You know what I
100%.
mean? Like people. This is one of the other things that the book that you showed me
Yeah.
talked about is how like this imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the imposter syndrome. The way I kind of understood it is, there comes a time in every artist's life where they'll look at their idols, they'll look at their heroes, look at people who inspire them. So they're so much better than me. I'll never be like them because my work is not even on their level, and I don't see a way of getting there. So and then they start doubting the work that they do, and it gives them an oh, I'm an imposter. I'm a fake. Like I'm charging money for this, but I don't really know how to do it.
Yeah.
Like I'm faking the funk. You know what I mean? Like kind of like. How do you feel about imposter syndrome?
I feel 2 ways. You definitely have to have like self-confidence. Like you have to believe in yourself more than anyone else has to. You know what I'm saying? Like no one's gonna be believing in your dream more than you are. And another rule is like no one gives a fuck. Like that's straight up. Like no one cares. You can talk about your dream. No one really cares. Until you make it, then they're like, But I really feel like it sucks in a way because a lot of people that are successful, they're not really open with their journey. Then there's not a lot of transparency there.
Yeah.
So a lot of people see the success like, okay, for example, let's say Kanye West. Like they see him, okay, I want to be like Kanye West. But if they would have known like the mental breakdowns, the lipo, and all the depression that he's gone through, and if he would have been more vocal about that, someone pursuing that dream that might feel the same would be like, okay, at least I'm not alone. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people, even in for example me, like I'm not made, I'm not rich, I don't got hella money. I'm very transparent with my journey. Like that shit's hard. Like sometimes like I don't get no sleep. Like I had to do like a regimen of like 4 hours of sleep so I can get as much shit as I can done. Fucking saving hella hundreds of dollars and then losing them like by fucking up t-shirts or whatever it might be. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm very transparent with that stuff versus other people that come up like an imposter syndrome. Like they come up like everything's great, man, awesome, yo, only my 2 cents, check out the art, I'm dope as fuck, only, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not that kind of person. I dislike that because you're putting up a front based on someone else's imposter, right? Like the image but it gets trickled down rather than being transparent.
I think that's like the worst thing about this like age of social media is just because people are seeing the end product and they're not seeing the whole entire journey. And you could even see a journey too, and you can still not see every single thing that's happening throughout that day. So people don't do that, they don't put 2 and 2 together a lot of the times, and they instantly think like, oh, this fool's just living life and all that stuff. He didn't have to struggle. But it's like, you don't know.
And the crazy thing, the beauty is in the struggle, bro. Like that's what
you had mentioned, the fact that you messed up a couple $100 worth of t-shirts.
Bro, hello.
How did that happen?
This what sucks,
How do you
man.
mess them up?
Oh, bro. Okay, so I started the clothing brand in 2014, and one of my first orders was for the Steelers, for like the Steelers football team.
Yeah.
And they all wanted day one hoodies. And I'm
That's
like,
dope,
cool.
though.
I was like, you know what I mean? At first I thought they were trolling me. And then the paycheck came through and I was like, all right, like, let's get to work, bro. Like, but I ended up ordering hoodies. And if I would have known, I would have chosen a different color. I chose like bright red with white lettering. But with screen printing, there's a thing called pigment dye. So it transfers. So like the pink, like the red of the dye, the red dye off your hoodie transfers to the white ink and it turns it pink.
Oh, snap.
So, dude,
that's crazy.
So like $800 worth of fucking hoodies, bro.
Whoa.
And not only that, like me and my homie put like 16 hours like of printing. Boom, me and him. This is my spare bedroom, by the way, like a 4-color press in my spare bedroom.
The grind.
And sure enough, dude, like afterwards, I was like, fuck. Like it just started dying, so I had to redo them.
Wait. So redo them as in, do you have to like just do another layer of white?
I had to trash those. Yeah, I had to trash.
Like no matter what you do, you couldn't.
Yeah.
So how could you explain how you got around that? Like how would you do that?
So what I ended up doing is multiple layers. So now that I knew, I did multiple layers. So I did like a very thin layer, and then I cured it. That way, at least
There's no dye left.
Yeah, exactly. And I did that like 3 times per hoodie, dude. And it was like over 300 hoodies. It was a lot, bro. It was
that
crazy.
was a lot.
Yeah. So it sucked.
Is there any other way to do it, or is that like the?
If I would have known, I would have done vinyl. Vinyl doesn't transfer anything like that. Would have been cleaner, but I didn't know. Like this was my first month actual like. Okay, I studied for 7 months and now it's game time.
Okay, so
like,
I just want to ask this question because I always get confused and I hear so many different things. So vinyl is that where you can like feel it picking off over time? Or what is that?
That usually is plastisol. So plastisol lays on top of your the fabric. Mm-hmm. So that's what cracks under heat and everything.
Yeah.
Sometimes rubs off. That's usually plastisol. Vinyl is like
most of the swap meet stuff.
Yeah. Because it's cheaper. It's cheaper to do that way. You know what I mean? Like, because the ink, so like you buy buckets of ink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But vinyl is like this little like sheet of it's like kind of like decal. It feels like decal.
Yeah, the same as decal, right?
Yeah, exact same, but they just make it so you can heat press it onto shirts. Mm-hmm. The only thing is it becomes stencil. Like you can't do any color grading or anything like that. It becomes like a stencil. So if it's like words or something, perfect. But if it's like an odd drawing, then no. Yeah, that's why I moved on to sublimation.
So what's screen printing? That's directly paint on the thread?
That's on top of of the fabric. So that's like plastisol.
Is it?
Yeah. They use plastisol ink.
Okay. Yeah. And then what do you do now?
Sublimation. So sublimation actually dyes the fabric, but the only catch is you have to use polyester. You can't use cotton because it only grasps onto polyester. So if you do 50-50, it's only going to grasp the polyester, so it looks faded. So if you're looking for a vintage look, that will work, but it's so hard to find like a good thick polyester shirt without looking like dry fit.
Is this polyester?
I wouldn't know by looking at it, but
okay. I don't know that's something you can look at. You're like,
nah.
He got like a microscope. He's like, yeah.
No, because like, okay, so I have this polo, and you can usually look at the polo and see like these little bumps on it. Like, oh, that's cotton. But I thought like the shirts that were more smooth. I thought the shirts that are more smooth
it depends, because some of them are blended with poly to kind of give that soft feel.
Polyester.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's like 40% polyester, I think.
Yeah.
It said.
Dude, I just got a shirt at work that was like I think 60% polyester and like 40% spandex.
Ooh.
I was like dry fit?
Yeah, like a dry
fit.
That body, bro.
Bro, it was like $40 a shirt.
Yeah, that's expensive.
They're so
even
expensive.
to buy in bulk is expensive.
If you get at Ross, they're like $6.
No, bro, like the ones that so probably.
Wait, I don't even know what you're talking about, to be honest.
So there's shirts that are more expensive. Like you ever seen like those dudes that go golfing and they have those like golfing shirts? Like,
is it the ones you can sweat in?
Those are dry fit. Yeah, that's
polyester. I got one.
Kind of like what Under Armour does a lot, right?
Yeah.
Dude, they're really dope.
They're like $40 a shirt if you want to get your logo on them. But it only after like 300 an order of 300 or more will they go down to like $22.
Yeah, they're
still pretty expensive.
So, and then the other thing I want to ask too, since we're still on the topic of printing, is black. What's the difficulties with printing onto black?
Yeah. So sublimation essentially is ink that vaporizes at a certain degree, right? So it gets printed through a printer, sublimation printer, but printers don't print white ink. They use the white of the paper.
Yeah, exactly.
So the white of your design will always be the white on the shirt. So that's one of the things, like if I were to draw someone with teeth and I put in a tan shirt, the teeth are going to be tan because there's no actual ink. So what they did is, the workaround, like literally I found this out about a month ago. It's called, I knew about the method. I just found a company that does it for me. It's called direct to garment.
Yep, the TTG.
Yeah, dude, that thing is amazing. I was saving up money for that, but it's too expensive. It's like 25 to 30K.
Didn't he buy one? The DTG?
DTG?
Direct to garment printer?
Didn't he buy one?
Me?
No, John.
Oh, I can't remember exactly which one he bought. He bought a really expensive one though.
Is it like freaking huge?
Yeah, it's
yeah.
huge.
Here, actually, I probably have the video, and you can tell me.
Because I think he printed one of our shirts on black.
Yeah,
and it looks decent. Like I was like, damn, that shit's really nice. You know, and I was feeling it, and I was like, oh damn.
So yeah, that's by far the best because you can print on demand.
What, it was like 16,000, 20,000,
30K. You can get one for 30, 35K. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, if you're doing business like that, it's worth it. I just wonder how much a cartridge
You know
costs.
who has one? JC from Urban Necessities. He has one.
Really?
Mm-hmm. So that's the cool thing about it. Literally, dude, like my whole goal is to be able to draw something on my iPad and be able to like print it.
Like instantly.
Yeah. Imagine me going to like a vending event and having like drawing live. You get to see what I'm drawing once I'm done, and I can print it. Game.
Like your own, like you could do like a caricature of somebody.
Nah, I hate drawing for people.
Oh, gotcha. So how do you mean exactly?
So I don't like. So that's a lot of people like when people find out I draw, they're like, oh, you ever think about doing tattoos? And I'm like, nah, just because I don't know the feel of like. So I draw things that I personally like that brings me inspiration. I feel like if I draw for people, it diminishes that. Like it's gone.
There. Yeah, it's there.
And like people.
What if they say like, hey, can you draw something for me? Just do whatever.
Nah.
No. Still no.
Yeah, just because it feels like a job. You know what I mean? Like it just feels like a job at that point. Especially like being like a graphic designer. I hate people like being like, hey, I don't like that. Especially coming from people that are not artistic. Yeah. They have this thing, like this image in their mind that there's no fucking possible way I can grab and make it reality. And they always like, oh, I don't like that. Or like, I saw it different. And I'm like, how? Oh, I don't know. It's just different. I'm like, oh, awesome. But I'm not going to do it no more. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather not. You know what I mean? I'd rather not put myself in that position and just draw what I like. And then the cool thing about it is, like with the Dragon Ball stuff, I find other people that like the same thing. Or like if I draw like a movie, say if I, for example, if I were to draw Fresh Prince, a lot of people like you would be like, oh, Fresh Prince, I remember that show. I'm down to like cop it. You know what I mean? Like, because it's something that at that point we have a connection in a way. And
that's why I felt a strong connection when I saw your Instagram page.
Yeah.
Now I see Dragon Ball Z. I'm like, bro, love Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Dude.
Like this has got to be a cool dude right here. You know, that's why we had like your anime. What's his name?
The dude that does the clothing,
Mike? The dude that does the shoes. Yeah,
that was wild.
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, that was wild.
And
that was dope.
Seeing his like kind of like how he was, I'm like, yeah, you can tell.
I think Dragon Ball Z, like
a
good amount of people, it's influenced. You know what I mean? Like, Dragon Ball Z was just so dope. Because there wasn't cartoons like that besides maybe kind of superhero ones. You know what I mean? But like realistically, just seeing the whole process of somebody evolving, that's what made Dragon Ball so dope to me. Because it's like. Because you know I did karate and everything, so that's why I respected it so much because they were fighting, they were training, they were building. They didn't really show that as superheroes.
Yeah. You just
superheroes are just superheroes.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad though. I love all those Marvel and DC, but it's just like that's why I think I'm so attracted to anime because I watch anime all day, bro.
Yeah,
like a lot of it. Like that's my life.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Right now, I guess in like
Sailor Moon.
Yeah. I guess like right now the biggest one's Demon Slayer, really good anime. Promised Neverland was really good. What's another one that I'm watching? I'm watching One Piece. I'm on like episode almost 900. They're almost on 900, bro.
I'm pretty basic, bro. I like Attack on Titan.
Okay.
And what's it called? My Hero Academia.
That's me too.
Are dope.
Yeah.
I mean,
those are really good.
There was one that I was really liking, but they canceled it. It was
Hunter x Hunter.
No. It was it was like 1 or 2 seasons, bro. It was the Parasite Maxim. Parasite the Maxim.
Is it the guy with the parasite?
Yeah, and it was like it was going
I
from.
thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke.
I'll show
Parasite
you-
got it. The one with the parasite. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
one.
With the hand? The one with the hand? Like his hand like became parasite?
Yeah. Here, I'll show you real quick.
Because I
Here we
only
go.
see him in
That's that one right there.
Japanese.
You probably haven't seen
I have
it.
not
You haven't
seen
seen
it.
it?
It's
No.
very very low key, bro. Very
I
like
think the only one that I had like seen like that's very like Japanese influence, like
he would
Death
do
Note.
stuff like that.
Whoa,
Bro, it's
that's
gory.
Yeah, bro.
It's gory as
Oh, this
fuck.
is
That's
gory
weird.
as hell. That's why I like this so much. You see people's heads getting cut off and body parts.
Yeah,
I'm
they
like,
don't.
Yeah.
They don't hold back.
They don't
either.
censor anything?
No,
That's
they're
dope.
like,
I like that.
100% in.
Oh, so I just got a text back from Jonathan.
Hey.
It was like it was DTG,
Yup.
and it cost him 15 grand.
See, I'm telling you, bro, that thing is
Yeah.
no joke, man.
But he has his like airbrush store where he's got daily customers coming in every day.
Yeah.
And of course he can fill like if somebody wants to buy a T-shirt, it's right there on the
Yeah,
spot. You know,
easy.
it's gonna
And-
pay for itself in the first month or two.
And essentially, it's like no minimums. Like you can get like 2. You know what I mean? Like there's no labor. It's all set up. That's dude.
Yep,
for
100%.
screen printing, bro. That thing was. I'm never gonna go back to screen printing. Like it's bad.
No?
It's a lot of labor, bro. Like
So were you doing? Did you also go into any time like when you did colors like Pantoning and all that? So
yeah,
you did that.
a little
Wait,
bit.
what's Pantone for somebody who doesn't know?
Yeah, explain it because
I
it's.
thought of panties.
Ooh.
Panty toning.
So as far as I know, I just know that there's certain colors that you can mix.
CYMK.
Yeah, to be able to create. It also does like so instead of like having a clean, smooth transition, you use halftone. So like little dots, kind of like comic books.
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
comic books
Yep.
were like printed back in the day. And it's certain screens in a certain order that are able to give you the full color feel, even though they're separate
Did I
screens.
say Pantone?
You did say Pantone.
Halftones.
Halftone. Yeah.
Sorry. People are like, "What the fuck
Yeah.
are you talking about?"
I was like, oh, colors. Yeah. I was like,
I was
okay.
like,
I saw that this one girl who was basically talking about how like there's only like the primary colors and how it's not RGB, it's like CMYK.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Did you know that? I did not know that. RGB isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Red, green,
It's-
blue. The prior.
Those are not primary
They're
colors.
not the primary. The primary colors are CYMK.
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Like,
It
but
blew
in
my
school,
mind.
in school we're taught that hey, your
RGB.
primary colors are red, green, blue because you can make those. Those are the only colors that you cannot recreate or something, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why they're primary colors, but they're like, that's not true. You can remake all these ones mixing these colors, and then CMYK are the shades. Like C is cyan or blue, you know, like people call it
magenta,
blue.
yellow,
Yeah.
and black.
Magenta, yellow.
CYMK.
CY, yellow.
Cyan.
He said C.
Yeah.
CYMK.
See, but what do colors make yellow?
No,
it's-
yellow's one of them.
Oh yeah, right. Yellow's the only color you can't make.
Magenta.
CYM, magenta, and then
black.
black.
K is black.
Yeah.
Which is
Blew my mind, bro, because I had
she
no idea.
explained it, and she was basically saying too, which is
I never knew that.
purple isn't a color. It's not on the color spectrum. Like your brain makes it up by like
Really?
adding 2 colors. You can't find it on the color spectrum because you know how all colors have like a certain like you can. Is it mathematics? Like you can actually see their wavelengths. Purple you can't see.
Oh,
So your
yeah,
brain makes it
yeah.
up.
Oh yeah, because it basically takes the spectrum, and your brain sees one color, sees the other one. It doesn't see purple. It gets so crossed, so like almost like if you cross your eyes and you see 2 different things. Like yeah, that's what your brain does, and it sees purple. Like
So you're not really seeing anything.
Yeah,
You know, I'm gonna research this and like
bro,
watch for
I'll
like
send you
hours
the video.
tonight.
I'll
Like,
send you the video.
crazy.
So the girl that I learned it from was on YouTube.
Yeah.
And if I can remember, I'll put her little video in the
Yeah, we'll
in the
put it in the
description.
bio for sure.
But she's basically a I think she's a graphic designer. Like she works with color a lot, and she does a lot of prints, so she understands it. And I was like, damn, I was just like looking at different videos on
My
YouTube
jaw
one day.
was dropped the whole time because I was like, I don't believe this.
Like what? Yeah.
Yeah, she just
my
kept
whole
throwing
life
like
is a lie,
bangers at me.
bro.
I was
Like my whole life is a lie, bro. That shit
Oh,
wild.
learn something, man. So what do you hope to do with this YouTube channel that you've created, this platform?
Essentially just to meet, be able to meet other like-minded people and open dialogue, be able to be a reference for somehow. Like, I'm still, even with the day ones, it's still a platform for, you know, passionate people that have a passion. Let it be music, let it be, art, let it be photography, whatever you have. Like, I'm trying to be in the journey with you. Like if I can help somehow, I mean, I have equipment and everything. So if people need like photos, she's like, cool, come to the crib. I'll hook you up or whatever.
That's dope.
So I'm just legit like I'm being the mentor that I wish I had. You know what I'm saying? So like that's all I'm doing, man. Like I wish I had someone to help me out because that shit hard, bro.
And it's one of those things too that as we get older, we realize how much of a young demographic there is. It's not even in our city, but in the world, and like how much that information that we have gathered can also help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Instead of being stingy.
If somebody can get on YouTube and watch your video at the age of 13 and learn so much, just because they have that drive to watch videos and learn more. Like, why wouldn't you want to be a part of the journey?
But I'd say any age. Don't limit to yourself, you know?
Yeah,
You're 70 and you want to learn how to draw?
Only the 13-year-olds, bro. If you're 14, it's too late. If you're 14, it's too late for you, man. Just give up.
But I was going to say...
What'd you say right now? What did you say?
Cut it out.
Crazy. We're going to edit that out. Oh, man.
So, what do you want to do with, like, one day? The one day... What is it?
Day one.
Day one, sorry. What do you want to do with day ones? Like, moving forward? Like, do you want to have, like, a creative warehouse?
Do you want to have your own, like, shop and...
Yeah, like a warehouse.
Like, do you want to be, like, a boutique one day or just to have it be, like, a collaborator space? Like,
or
has any of that crossed your mind?
I would say, yeah, as a aftermath. So my goal is, like, financial freedom, right? Like, I want to be able to make enough money that I'm able to live off of, like, my art or whatever I want to do. I want to be able to just wake up and live. Like, I want to be able to afford that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if today I want to hang out with y'all and have some beers, like, down. Like, if the next day I want to be able to, you know, paint the whole day, I'm down. Like, essentially, if I, you know, of course, in real life, you know, real life. So, I would want to be able to be just a creative studio that, legit, I want to help people that want to be helped. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that have ideas, but they never do anything with them. And, you know, it is what it is. You know, but my whole goal is like, hey, you have an idea and you don't got the money or you don't know the direction. Like, let me help you.
Right.
Like, come over here to the studio and what do you have in mind? I always tell people, even today, like, I have like essentially a smaller version of it in my house. I have like a little creative studio that I invite people that are pursuing, like, hey, you're working on your website, come through. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working on my stuff while you're working on your stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've had like 4 or 5 people in my house.
Well, we used to have this thing called edit parties at one of my buddies, Gabe's house. So like every he would have them multiple times a month, but like on a Friday, Saturday night, we would come through, bring your laptop, and then we would just like all chill and then just edit or work on our own projects. And we had questions we could ask each other. That's kind of that vibe, right?
Yeah, but in a larger scale, like imagine being able to, like, my homie Cameron, like hey, like, come over to this creative studio and be able to showcase your talent. You know what I mean? Like how like other people are doing, like Tiny Desk, like they're doing it already. You know what I mean? Like there's other, and if you look at most of the commercials, like Budweiser and all these like alcohol, like Bacardi and all them, dude, they're doing like artist features and stuff. Yeah. And they're only doing it because it's cool at the moment. They don't really like push, like essentially they're trying to get you to buy their whatever, right?
Yeah.
But my biggest thing is like, I'm not trying to get you to buy nothing. Like, come over and like legit, like, first off, I hate networking when it comes to like going out to clubs because I hate the clubs. It's not my scene.
Bro,
you know what I mean? Like,
I feel you.
Like, I'd rather be at home.
I feel like I don't belong there. Like, I'm like,
facts.
I feel like everybody's looking at me like I shouldn't be here right now.
Yeah,
bro, it's such a weird vibe.
But so that's my biggest thing. Like, okay, so like, what if this I want to be able to have a warehouse, you know what I mean? Like Tennis fucking, that dude's a beast. So if he has a warehouse, I would want to be able to be like, all right, this week we're going to feature this artist, like, they're going to have all his canvases, and next week, and just being able to feature people around town, which he already does, you know, but essentially I want to kind of do that on my own.
Yeah. It's good to have multiple different outlets, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because people like to change up, people like different scenes, you know what I mean? And it's I think it's really a dope thing, bro. Like, I think a lot more people need to get on it. It's just sharing art, sharing creativity, sharing good energy. Because like you said, there's a lot of people with ideas, but nobody wants to execute. Shit.
Facts, dude.
So next question.
I feel sad for them. Like, for real, like,
next question is, you want to go half on a studio space, bro? Because I'm looking for. I'm just kidding. No, we were actually talking about that.
Yeah, we were already doing calculations and stuff.
Really?
We already found the spot.
Yeah,
so we're like,
there's a little insider, but basically what Chuck and I are trying to do is trying to open up a studio here in Vegas where we can essentially talk about, like, kind of do what you were talking about, where it's like, you know, have it be a community grounds where people can come through and create, but also make it a business for us on the other side. For example, like, if you wanted to, you could do your workshops out of there for like $10, $20 a month or whatever on a Sunday, or every third Sunday of the month. You come in and you learn something new, kind of like, you know, like a membership kind of like kind of thing, but also be like a photo studio or a podcast center where people can come in and we can help them like learn about how do you start a podcast?
Yeah.
How do you brand yourself as a podcast? I mean, we're still learning this stuff.
Yeah.
We're not by any means the top-notch professionals at it, but it's like we were talking about earlier, everything that has been in our journey has led us to where we are today.
Yeah.
And if that's been the last 10, 15 years of doing all this crazy stuff, then maybe we can condense it to a 6-month course for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like,
or you can use our equipment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just like,
no, you can't use my camera.
I meant the audio equipment.
Oh, okay.
You can use my camera, but I'm a rental fee.
I already got a dent on my camera, bro. I don't know how this happened, but when I'm at my A7R2, I got a chip at the top.
It happens
plastic
because
just broke
you don't know
out.
how to take care of your stuff.
That too. That too. But it's also like my camera telling me it's time to upgrade.
This guy.
Oh, he drops it.
Yeah.
Time to upgrade.
Time to upgrade again. These cameras are expensive, bro. It's hard to upgrade.
Oh hell.
But I also got my. What year did we get the A7Rs?
Like 2 years ago, 3 years. I don't know.
It was like 2017, I want to say, bro.
Let's say
Not that bad.
Or 2016.
That's not bad.
Because we got the 6Ds.
I bought a new one.
We got the 6Ds in 20.
You guys go to
13.
NAB?
All the time. Well, I try
You know what? Yeah, I rarely go to anything,
Yeah.
bro. I'm just so lazy.
Yeah.
I'm just a
You know
lazy
what, though?
piece of shit. I like working in my house. That's
I'm
it.
getting to that point too.
Same.
I'm getting to that point too where I'm like, oh, I have a pass. I can go for free. Like,
Yeah.
But then I'm also like, I can just watch the recap videos on
Yeah,
YouTube later.
because like they're better. Because like, I'm not gonna go talk to each guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, oh, that was there.
Well, it's also
year.
kind of like a fun event thing where you wouldn't just go to find out about new gear. You go to hang out with your friends if they're
You
like,
can drink too.
I barely go.
You can
out.
drink too. There's food there, bro. It's like a whole thing, like
They have
And
cameras
plus,
you can play with too.
If we were content creators for
That'd
like
be different.
for like a podcast, and we wanted to talk about NAB, then we can have footage
Oh,
from
that's true
us
too.
being there too. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, see, I'd rather go there and do.
Chuck doesn't ever want to do anything with me, bro.
Bro,
we hitting a whole nother level right now.
Well, he don't drink no more, so I can't even do anything with him.
Really?
What are we gonna go
What?
do?
You don't drink?
I don't drink now.
No, he's killing it.
I've been sober for. I can't even call it sober. Like I didn't have a problem. I just stopped drinking like randomly. I was like in
That's sober, bro.
Yeah.
Was it 2020?
Oh, this is years.
It was like last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, last
Still.
year in April I think I stopped drinking. So it's been a little bit over a year.
Damn.
Yeah, which is crazy. I didn't think much of it because when I stopped drinking, like first of all, I would only drink like once every couple months.
Yeah, he wasn't addicted to it.
I wasn't
Gotcha.
addicted to it, but when I did drink, I drank like I was like it was drinking like water. You know what I mean? So I was like, I just rather not have those
Straight
nights.
fish,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I was like, bro,
Chuck
you okay?
Chuck's a witness to that, man. I was
like,
drinking, yeah.
bro, he's good.
And
at it.
I
I'm
didn't
like,
get.
damn.
I never got violent. I never got
Yeah,
crazy.
no.
Like if anything, I just like got really funny.
Yeah.
but also just like I don't know, man. It was one of those things where I'm like, oh shit, I'm poisoning myself, and like I'd rather find another
It could
poison.
definitely take a toll, yeah.
Another poison.
If I don't do poison, I
a
want to have
vice
some
for a vice,
experiences.
homie. It's all good
Oh
though.
man, but yeah, let's talk about faking it till you make it.
Hey.
What's your thoughts on faking it till you make it? What does that mean to you?
I think okay, so my biggest thing is it's in the real world, you know what I mean? Like you want to be yourself 100%, but to be taken seriously, that you do have to put in some work. For example, like take, for example, like podcasts, right? Like you guys do your podcast. People don't know how long it takes you guys to edit, and Photoshop just a thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? Like how you have to go afterwards and check your audio and all that stuff. Like that's if you do all the work. Then if to make it look professional, then people are not gonna take you as anything else but that. You know what I'm saying? So like I feel that. I don't feel like the whole fake it till you make it when people are like, oh, I'm just gonna pretend I'm already in. Like nah, like put in that work and at least make it look like if you're a musician, like fucking find somebody that's gonna help you with videos and put that out. Like if someone YouTubes you and they don't find any videos, and you can't be out here flaunting all this stuff on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way that I take it. Like if that's your passion, put in that work to make it look decent with whatever equipment you have. No one's gonna start with all this equipment. You know what I mean? Like it's little by little, but do what you can with what you can.
And
I also feel like
the new thing nowadays is a lot of people are loving to see the process of people starting from nothing and gaining it. Because there's a new. That's
so
what
tune into the Morning Dinner podcast.
Oh damn!
Right there.
What was that? People like glitching the Matrix, bro. That was so.
I was about to go back, like, hey guys, my name is OnlyMy2Cents.
Yeah, I was like, bro.
oh, shit.
I was like, wait, what happened, Joe? Did we just like go back in time?
Because you were talking about, you were talking about the fact that people love to see something from scratch.
Oh my god!
So I said tune it.
Bro, my face. I was like,
oh man, I gotta watch the playback. We're gonna edit that out.
I hate you, bro.
Edit that out. Cut that out of the podcast.
No, like, because that's what a lot of big brands are doing now, right? They're putting like a story behind their brand. Yeah. Like it's a little corny when like Bud Light does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's still, no matter what, people have that human aspect behind it. So people gravitate it way more than just being like some corny, like, what is it? I don't know the word, but just like nothing appealing. Like more people are having a brand face, like a person who's in front of their brand and they're like bringing people in, drawing attention.
Yeah. Kind of like that Aperture guy, right? The guy from Aperture Photo. Yeah. Ted Sims, something like that.
Like you really, because he's dope. Like he's down for the people. You know what I mean?
And he goes to all these like he goes to what is it called? We were just talking about it. NAB. He goes there. You could talk to him. What are the products? What do they do? Why would I want to get this versus this? Like he could talk to you. And I always say this. Like imagine if the dude who created Coca-Cola had like a YouTube channel showing how he started it.
You fucking watch that shit?
Yeah,
that'd be
I'd watch
crazy.
it.
Yeah. I think people like watching people live life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
as weird as it is, as weird as we may think it is, like it's just something people do.
I do it a lot.
Look at reality TV, bro.
Yeah.
Who?
You know what I mean? Reality TV, just in general, bro. Like everybody, like at one point was watching Jersey Shore. You know what I'm saying? Like even if you weren't into that, people love watching other people live their lives. Same thing. Like now that YouTube is available and how big it is, anyone can go in there and showcase their life. You know what I mean? Like
look at Liza Koshy. Look at what's his name?
David
Dobrik, Casey Neistat. Like these are just people who are not like curing cancer, but they're just living their life and they have it to have interesting lives.
Yeah.
People love watching, bro. Like I've watched a couple episodes just because it's like the whole thing. We go back to reality TV. Like that's what we kind of watched growing up too. You know. So
and I think a lot of people have to understand, like you usually can't just maybe some people, I wouldn't put this on everybody, but you have to redo things multiple times, right? So it's like hearing a quote or being inspired. You have to be inspired multiple times. You know what 100%. I mean? You know, because you'll flatline a little bit. You know, that's why sometimes like I have to re-listen to like a motivational thing. I'm like, oh damn, I have to do this weekly because I forget, and then I just live this. So I think that's the same with like watching people's lives. You know what I mean? It just like gets you out of your same routine.
Speaking on that, man, I think one thing that I always tell people when they ask me like, you know, how to get started and everything, I tell them like, it's easy to do stuff when you're inspired. That's the easiest time.
Oh, 100%.
But when you don't want to do something and you're tired and you're sleepy and you got shit drama going on or life is fucking you over, like that's when it really counts. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really believe on like self-inspiration, man. Sometimes you got to talk yourself into it. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be worth it. You know I mean?
Somebody, the guy from Smash Iron, Jay, was telling me that he doesn't, it was Nick from Smash Iron. He was telling me he doesn't believe in motivation because motivation is temporary. You have to have that self-discipline of like, I'm going to keep doing this.
Yeah, which is
even
real
when I don't feel like I'm motivated to do it.
Yeah.
Because think about like how many times like we'll start going to the gym. That New Year's resolution comes around. They go to the gym for a month, 2 weeks, and they stop.
Yeah.
Like what does it take for you to keep going and not stop? It's got to be that self-discipline, right?
Yeah.
I have none. But I can speak on it.
Oh, you have it with alcohol.
There we go. That's death. There we go.
Discipline, bro.
Until I start drinking again, then it was cool.
Oh, it's all good though, bro. You gotta live life.
But yeah, man. What's it called? Even Gary Vaynerchuk talks about it. He was saying like go watch a couple of YouTube channels and then unsubscribe. I never want to see you again. He goes like, I want you to get out there and do it, and not have to come back and rely on me for inspiration. You know
I mean, it's like Tony Robbins. Like he had like a big issue with like he didn't want people to keep coming back to his seminars. You know what I mean? Because he's like, you should literally come here once and never come back here again.
That's why it's so expensive.
But he's like,
kind of drastic.
But then it's at the same time like that's just humans. Like we forget and we need to be refueled. You know, I just I think the one thing too with the motivation thing, like I see where he was coming from, but now thinking of it, because creativity is a little bit different. Creativity went like because people don't understand it's not binary. It's a different like
scope
of the
if you're talking about inspiration for creating, not the will to create, right? We're talking about. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying that like we as artists, we take inspiration from everything we see.
Yeah.
You know, it goes back to that book that we were talking about earlier, the Steal Like an Artist. If you watch a movie and then you see like a scene in that movie and it makes you feel a certain kind of way, like this would be a dope photo or something like that. Like that, we always take inspiration from the things that we watch, and that's never gonna stop.
Yeah.
I think he's more talking about like wanting to create. Like you shouldn't have to feel motivated to want to create again. Like you should always have that drive within you. You know what I mean?
was gonna say, like, what do you do, or have you ever had like a creative funk? There you go. I'm using Keem's word. Where you just you can't do anything. Like you're drawing and you're like, oh, this just ain't working. Like, or you have like you've done so much creative stuff that you're like mentally drained and you're just as tired like you just did a whole day of like working out.
It happens all the time. I feel like that's when you got to switch gears. Like you can't always, you know, be an output. You know what I mean? Like at that point, if I feel like that, then I'll stop and then start intaking. So I'll start reading again. You know what I mean? I'll start rereading some books and see, because again, like a book that I read 2 years ago, I'm not the same person I was 2 years ago, so I'm gonna get more stuff out of it. That's why when you said that guy that only wants you to go once, like that's kind of drastic, because I feel like I can talk to somebody this year, and then in 2 years, like I can give you more knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I think when people, motivational speakers, talk about like do it now, or you know, I don't believe in motivation, is because I think they're targeting the people that haven't started yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, again, they're stuck in the idea. They don't know how to make it a reality, and how to, like, what's their journey look like? Which direction should they go? And I think that's when most of the people in seminars like, oh, I have this idea, I just don't know what to do with it, or I don't know how to start. You know what I mean? I think that's even like Gary be like, I don't know how much patience that dude has, man, talking to all these people always about the same shit, like get motivated, and then these people half the time don't do shit, like you said. Like it sucks, you know, but that's the reality of it, you know. So damn,
can't help everybody, man.
So I use that time to just like, all right, cool, like if I'm feeling that way, I'm aware of that, you know what I mean? All right, what am I gonna do that's gonna be solution based? Like I should start reading, man, or change doing something different, you know?
Yeah, because like that's what I do now. Like if I'm like, when it comes to creativity, if I'm hitting a block, I stop. I just stop, because I'm like, I'm gonna burn myself out.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to working, like my editing and all that, I'll edit for every hour. I get 30 minutes of
you earn your
fuck
time.
around time.
Yeah.
So I'll do 4 hours, and then I do 15 minutes. Sorry. So I do 4 hours. Oh, okay. I got an hour now of messing around time, and it helps me a lot. You know, because it's just like you don't get too tired. You get a little time to take a break.
Yeah.
It took me a while though to kind of get into that routine of just like work, mess around. Work, mess around.
There was a thing that I researched about your creative hour. So you stay up, you know, as long as you can, and when you try to find when you're the most creative throughout a day.
Ooh.
Which mine was like 2 a.m.
Yeah, I feel that's mine too.
Swear,
bro.
And it just flows. So there's this thing called like kind of muscle memory, right? So what you do is like at that same time every day you play a song, you drink the same drink, and then you get to work. Because what happens is you do that for a week, a month, then when you grab that drink and you play that song, your mind's like, hey, game time.
I forgot what that's called.
I saw an episode on The Office about that.
What?
Do you watch The Office?
No. I heard about it.
Okay,
though.
so there's these two guys who work in the office, and they're always pranking each other. So one of the guys, Jim, what he does is he'll always restart his computer, and it does this like sound, like this ding sound, and every time he does it, he offers his coworker a mint. Right, so at the same time every day, he restarts his computer. Ding! He goes, "Hey, you want?" And then like on like 2 weeks later, he does it again, and he just restarts his computer, and his coworker's like just stretches out his hand, ready for that mint. Like he's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, starts looking around like, what's happening? He didn't even think about it. He didn't think about the fact that he was gonna get another mint, and he wasn't gonna get another mint.
Oh, gotcha.
He trained his muscle memory to already want it, you know.
Yeah.
So I get that. You train yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's kind of, we're hitting up the 1 hour mark already.
No, we're actually so it started at 12 minutes. So we're almost there.
Yeah.
We're almost there.
Did you guys want to hit on any other topics? I'm kind of.
Do you want to speak on anything?
Is there anything that you want to leave our listeners, visual watchers, with before we wrap up?
A quote, some motivation, anything, man.
Shit, I would say anyone that has a passion, like legit, research that industry that you want to do. So for example, if you want to do art, like research the industry that you're going to try to get into. If you're a musician, like how do musicians make money? You know what I'm saying? Like You can't just think like, hey, I'm gonna be a musician and hopefully, you know, just lock yourself in a room and do music and somehow expect someone to come to your door and give you money. It's not gonna happen. So research the industry that you want to get into. That way you are prepared. I think that's my biggest. That's like before you do anything, like fucking do it. That way you have a fucking direction. You know what I mean? Like I always say, people to write down their thoughts all the time, because you can write down on your phone and it's cool, or you can have it in your head, but once you put it on paper and you actually map it out,
forever.
It's there, and then it becomes a visual and it becomes a list. Like, okay, I can knock this out today. I can knock this out today. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of the biggest things. Again, like if you really believe that you deserve to do your passion as a living, like just fucking get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's no excuses. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I have a job, I got kids, and I get it. Life is life.
Oh yeah.
But
everybody has their own struggles at the end of the day.
Yeah, 100%,
you know,
dude. 100%.
You may have 5 kids you got to support. You may have student loans you got to pay off.
Yeah.
Whatever you have. At the end of the day, you got to keep going.
And those are the limits
1,000%.
you're putting on yourself.
Exactly. So either you have an excuse or you have a way out.
Or a reason.
Yeah. You have a reason. Hell yeah. I like that shit.
You either have an excuse or you have a reason.
Yeah.
Put
Facts.
that on a t-shirt.
Hey, let's go.
Get a 4X going and we'll get it popping.
Keem's like, oh, I get 10%.
But yeah, man, that's a kind of it's a good place to wrap up.
Yeah.
We're gonna put all your information down in the description down below for the video, for the podcast. But thanks for joining us, JR.
Dude, thank you for having me.
bro.
Appreciate you.
All right, we'll catch you guys in the next morning dinner.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator.
I sure am hungry.
That wraps up episode 78 with JR. Thank you guys for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this episode, I implore you to
smash that like button
and
subscribe,
and also drop a comment down below and let us know if you like the episode, because guess what, man, those comments, they keep us going.
Hey, they do. They brighten our days.
I like when you guys comment on the snippets, like the little short episodes, because then I'm like, that's really nice of them. And it's more niche, because those episodes are
so we'll see
very
you next time.
Okay. Catch you guys in the next morning dinner.